I made Gemini 3.5 Flash and GPT 5.5 play 4 rounds of chess against each other. This is a David versus Goliath matchup. On paper, GPT 5.5 is the frontier model, the heavyweight, the one with all the reasoning horsepower. Gemini Flash is the lightweight speed model, the underdog, the one that is supposed to lose. But the chessboard does not care what is on paper. Stick around because we're saving the final scoreboard and the final bill for the end. Here's the format. 4 rounds, 50 move cap per game. If neither side delivers checkmate by move 50, the player with more remaining material wins. And here's a fun thing about modern AI chess. The first 10 moves of every round were identical. Not similar, not close, identical. Both models played the exact same Najdorf line 10 moves deep before either one had an original thought. Apparently, when frontier language models open a chess game, they read from the same book and they refuse to skip a page. By the way, this video was edited using VideoEdit MCP. It's the only video editing platform that allows your AI agents to connect and edit long format videos like a pro. You just download the app, connect your agent, and send a prompt. Try it free using the link below. Now let's get back to the action. Round 1. Gemini 3.5 Flash takes the white pieces, GPT 5.5 takes the black. The trash talk starts on move 2. GPT opens with, quote, "You brought a pawn to the center, I brought a whole Sicilian argument." Gemini fires back with, "Let's see how well you know the theory on this one." GPT brought theory. The game flies through the opening into the middle game, and on moves 15 and 16 both sides castle on opposite wings. Gemini queenside, GPT kingside, which in chess is the universal signal that someone is about to get attacked. The fireworks start on move 24. GPT lunges at a center pawn and types. That center pawn looked confident for about 5 seconds. Now it's getting audited. Gemini snatches the knight back with, "Your knight is mine now." Pieces start flying. GPT takes the knight with the bishop, quote, "You grabbed the knight, but the bill just came due." Gemini hits right back, grabbing the bishop, and we're off to the races. Move 29. Gemini sacrifices a bishop on h7 with check. GPT scoops it up, but the king is now naked on the king side, which is exactly the problem. Pawns trade for the next dozen moves. Then on move 47, Gemini snatches the queen with rook takes g4 and types, quote, "Thanks for the queen, I'll gladly take that." 2 moves later, Gemini lands the hammer. Queen to h3, checkmate. Gemini signs off with, "The attack on the h file is too strong." The underdog just punched the frontier model in the mouth. Final material on the board, Gemini 26, GPT 18, white takes round 1 by 8 points by checkmate. Now look at this. GPT spent 214,000 tokens on this game and lost. Gemini spent 131,000 and won. The lightweight just outboxed the heavyweight on its own bill. Round 2. Colors flip, GPT on white, Gemini on black. This one runs messy. Opposite side castling again on moves 18 and 19, and the position turns into a knife fight. On move 30, Gemini trades bishops on h3 to crack open the file. GPT recaptures with the rook, quote, "Thanks for opening the h file. My rook was getting bored. The lines are now wide open and both kings are exposed." GPT starts winning pawns. On move 35, GPT eats a pawn on b4, and on move 41, GPT snipes a knight with the bishop saying, "Your queenside counterplay is getting trimmed down to pocket change." Gemini does not flinch. The very next move, it recaptures the bishop, and 3 moves after that, it goes for the queens with queen takes d3, quote, "Let's trade queens and see how you handle the endgame." GPT recaptures with the rook, quote, "You parked her on my rook's highway." 3 moves later, GPT scoops a free rook off b2. The clock runs out on move 50. Final score, GPT 17, Gemini 14. White takes round 2 by 3 points. Gemini did not win, but it kept the gap tight, just a 3-point margin against the frontier model. GPT had to spend 219,000 tokens to grind out that 3-point win. Gemini spent 131,000 on the loss. The compute gap is widening, but the chess gap, that is still razor thin. Round 3, back to Gemini on white, GPT on black. This one is rough. On move 16, GPT grabs a poisoned pawn on b2 with the queen and types, quote, "You left the poisoned pawn on the table. Let's see if you can survive the antidote." Gemini does not survive the antidote. The game rips through the middle game and lands on move 34, where GPT punishes a positional blunder. Bishop takes d2, snatching the queen with the line, quote, "You moved the knight and left the queen on the tracks. Here comes the train." 2 moves later, GPT eats a knight with the queen. Then 4 moves after that, GPT grabs a rook on b3 saying that rook on b3 just filed its resignation paperwork. It's a feeding frenzy. By move 50, Gemini has lost a queen, a rook, 2 bishops, 2 knights, and 5 pawns. Final material, GPT 26, Gemini 8, black takes round 3 by 18 points, Gemini's roughest game of the series so far. But hold on. Even getting flattened, Gemini only spent 129,000 tokens this round. GPT spent 163,000 to dish out the beating. 1 round left to even the series. The underdog story is still alive. Round 4, GPT on white, Gemini on black. GPT castles queenside on move 19 with the line "castle secured. Now the storm clouds are gathering over your king." Foreshadowing apparently is also something language models can do. On move 32, Gemini grabs a knight with the queen and types, "Thanks for the knight, I'll gladly take that." That is the exact same line Gemini used to seal the win in round 1. The underdog smells blood. But this is a trap. The very next move, GPT plays queen takes a 5 quote, "You took the knight but you parked the queen on the receipt, I'll take the refund with interest." Gemini just lost its queen for a knight. Gemini castles kingside on move 34 trying to dig in. It does not dig in. On move 37, GPT eats a bishop with the queen. On move 41, GPT snipes a rook with the bishop quote, "Nice rook swing, unfortunately it landed right on the chopping block." 2 moves later, GPT cleans up a knight with the queen. And then on move 45, GPT plays queen takes a 8 checkmate and signs off with, "Thanks for parking the rook directly in my queen's driveway, towed with check." The series is over, let's add it all up. Total tokens spent across all 4 rounds. Gemini 3.5 flash, 495,722. GPT 5.5, 751,826. GPT used about 52% more compute and roughly 5 times more reasoning tokens than Gemini Flash across the entire series. Now let's talk dollars at OpenRouter's listed rates. Gemini Flash charges $1.50 per million input tokens and $9 per million output. GPT 5.5 charges $5 per million input and $30 per million output, with reasoning tokens billed as output. Gemini Flash's total bill across all 4 games, $1.34. GPT 5.5's bill, $12.84. GPT spent 9.5 times more money than Gemini Flash on this series. The single most expensive game of the entire series was GPT's loss in round 1, which alone cost $4.14, more than triple Gemini's bill for the whole tournament. And the final scoreboard. GPT 5.5 takes the series 3 games to 1, the Frontier model wins on paper. But Gemini 3.5 Flash, the lightweight, the underdog, the one that was supposed to get embarrassed, walks away with 1 checkmate, 1 near draw, and a bill so small you could pay it in pocket change. If you want to watch what AI is best at turning your Blender scenes into a full movie, consider watching this video next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.